Hi everyone, and welcome to another great car here on the Car Reviews podcast with CollectorCarCanada.CA. Today we have another awesome one. It's lot 256 on CollectorCarCanada.CA. It's a 2009 Porsche 911 Cabriolet with 6-speed transmission, and a bonus, this car, despite being an 09, is under 45,000 kilometers. We're going to take a good look at the car in this video, and I think you're going to see that it's in really nice condition. Again, an 09 911 Carrera 2, two-wheel drive, and again, 45,000 kilometers, a little bit under, with the 3.6 liter engine, good for 345 horsepower. More specs on the detailed listing for lot 256, like torque and other great stuff like that. Another thing to keep in mind for this car, this is the first year of 997.2, those who are into their Porsche nomenclature. So the 997 appeared in 2005, the turbos came in 06, but the 997.1 began in 05 and ran through 08. And in 09, the 997.2 came out, and it made IMS concerns a thing of the past. So no IMS concerns for this 09. So I'll give it a start, and we'll take a look at the engine, listen to the exhaust, listen to the engine, and have a nice little tour of the car. So again, lot 256, 2009 Porsche 911 Carrera 2 with a 6-speed manual transmission, under 45,000 kilometers, 6-speed transmission driving the rear wheels, and post IMS excitement, I'll say. Of course, the key is on the left in a 911. So no trouble with the start. I better make sure I got the car in neutral, apply the handbrake, and I hope you can see that the overhead door behind me is ajar by about 2 feet or so, so I'm not too worried about the exhaust fumes. They should be flowing right out the door. I'll mention also that we're in the seller's detail shop. So the car is almost detailed. Unfortunately, we got here before the detailer had done his thing, but as I'm showing you the cleanliness of this car, keep in mind that this is before it was detailed. It is quite presentable already. So that accounts for the appearance around us. And outside, there's a bit of drizzle, so we didn't want to shoot the video outside. That's what I had planned to do, but this car doesn't see rain. Okay, I'll grab the camera and we'll start the tour with me holding the camera. So the car is idling nice and easily. You can see that front driving light below the round headlight. Of course, the 997 went back. I say round, technically oval, but without the style of the 996 that was inspired by the Porsche GT1 race car. Fun fact. As much headache as those 996 headlights go, I'll bet most of the people who slag them don't know that they were inspired by a race car. If you're interested, you can check out Porsche GT1. Back to this 997.2 though. I mentioned the driving light because this is a US market car. It was originally delivered in Florida. It's been in Canada about 10 years. We do have our normal Carfax.ca report on the listing. The owner has supplied a Carfax.com report. So it's a lot of the same information on both. I guess we could have saved 45 bucks and used the Carfax.com one that you'll find in the gallery, but we stuck to standard. Anything 81 and newer, we put a Carfax.ca report on. So you'll see that linked in CCC Vital Info to the right of this review video on the auction page for lot 256. So cruising on in, so long as I'm talking about those lights while the engine's running, I'll show you the headlights. So 2 turns after auto, and that's the low beam. Of course, the high beam's with the turn signal light, as you'd expect. But to engage the fog lights, you pull that one out. So we'll take a look at the lights. So now that accessory light, parking light is lit up. It was not lit up previously. And you can see those advanced headlights. I'll take a search for those. I'm not sure if they're xenon or HID, but there's a little look at how they appear. But the real purpose of having the engine on for this portion of the video, you can see that amber light lit up to indicate the fog lights are engaged. I'm gonna leave it on auto for the owner. To release the engine cover. So the front one here is for the front trunk. As Porsche people will probably realize, we got a rear engine car here today. And this one releases the engine cover. So cruising on back, above the engine cover, there's that nice Carrera badge. So it's well covered, certainly, and you probably get a better look at this engine from underneath. In this case, the seller has supplied us with oodles of not only stills of the underside, but even videos. So that's probably your best bet to look at engine components. Here we can get a look at some of the gloss and the shimmer with that nice conspicuous Porsche badge and the 3.6 emblem to the bottom right to indicate the displacement. But I'll bring the camera in, not so much to look at, just so you can hear the engine idling. So yeah, sounds pretty normal to me. You can see that's where the fan operates. And these are intakes, of course, to feed these ducts here. To feed the 3.6, 345 horsepower engine. Alright, we might as well take a look at the exhaust, or take a look at the exhaust outlets, dual exhaust, but more importantly, let's listen to them. Left side, again, a dual exhaust, and over to the passenger side. These tail lights are first year 09, and this style of tail lights indicates the 997.2 I was mentioning earlier. The 997.1, they're somewhat distinct, but they're a lot like the 996 tail lights. I'd say the 7.2s are more different from the 7.1s than the 7.1s are from the 996. So long as we're looking at them, let's take a look at that rear light while illuminated. So if you have a really keen eye, you notice that I pulled out the fog light switch. And if you have a really keen eye, you'll also notice that part of the tail light on the left is brighter than the rest. As you may or may not know, that's the rear fog light. So if I push that fog light back in, the fog light switch back in, that portion will appear just like the one on the right. My friendly driver tip of the day is that only use those in the fog. Otherwise, people think you've got a malfunctioning brake light. If you use them in the fog, you look like you know what you're doing. Okay, let's cut the engine and start our tour of the exterior. While we're at it, I'll show you that odometer at under 45,000 kilometers. As I say, a US market car, but don't be concerned about I better turn off those lights. Don't be concerned about the miles odometer reading. It's under 28,000 miles. Don't take my word for it. Please take a look at our detailed listing where you'll see photos of the odometer with the miles reading. So we got a silver on red. I'd say the red really brightens up, really wakes up the silver, really makes it pop with the red interior. We've got a full captioning of all the option codes on the detailed listing. And I can see by my naked eye right now, one of the options on this car is the sport seats. And we'll take a close look behind the parking lot at the front dual 5-spoke wheel. This is skinned in a set of, the front tires are a set of Continental Conti Sport Contact 3. I took a look at the date code originally when we were doing some exterior photos, and I suspect these front tires are original to the car because I saw a date code. I don't remember now if it was 08 or 09, but around the time the car was assembled in Stuttgart. So unfortunately it's upside down, but there's a look at the size. 235, 35, R19. These would be Y rated. But take a look at our detailed listing for lot 256 for more detail on the tires in terms of manufacture date and speed rating. You can see underneath that colored center cap with Porsche is a cross-drilled rotor at all four corners. And there's the Porsche branded caliper. Car this low miles, I'm sure, certainly the caliper would be original. I suspect the rotor's original too. But we do have some service records on the detailed listing for lot 256. Please take a look if you're interested. Just while I'm at it, this sticker for the collection, that is a dealership in Coral Gables, Florida, so just outside of Miami. And the collection sold this car when it was very young. And the PCA sticker, despite that standing for Porsche Club of America, I happen to be a member of the local chapter, and those are the stickers they give us. PCA for Porsche Club of America. The local chapter here in Ontario is UCR, Upper Canada Region. So in various places on the site, you're gonna see PCA, UCR, that's what that big long acronym means. I noticed when we were doing photos of the car that all of the glass appears with the Saint-Gobain Security emblem, indicating to me it's original. There's the VIN number, but you don't need to write that down now. As you might expect, we've got that on the detailed listing. Of course, we've got the Carfax there, the 2 Carfax reports there as well. Just as long as I'm at it, I always look for little imperfections, and on the metal, I could only find this one. So there's a tiny chip that's been touched up on the front driver side fender, and there it is with a toonie to give you some sense of perspective. I must say the owner pointed that out to me. I hadn't done my imperfection check, but it didn't jump out at me, and as I say, the owner pointed it out to me. You can also see here a subtle line, and as you might guess, that indicates that this car's been treated with a PPF on the front. So not the entire car, not the entire front end, but the front of that fender and the hood. I'm really tempted to show you the really clean front bumper, but I'm gonna do a circle check around the car. I suspect I will not forget. So yeah, paint protection film, PPF, covering on, I guess about the front eighth of the car. I also see some really light chipping here on the driver's side mirror cap, color coded, not a metal part, so a little less concerning if anyone ever wanted to repaint that. I always like an original paint car, of course. A close second is if only the poly or the non-metal parts have been refinished. Otherwise, I don't see too many, I said too many, I don't see any flaws on this paint otherwise. Here's a good look at the Continental, where's the model here? Conti Sport Contact 3. It's a match to the front despite being manufactured later. So there's the Continental emblem. Here's the size here, 295/30 ZR19 with the Y rating. And let's see how quickly I can find the date code. Here we go. 2018 for the rear tires. I'm questioning myself. I think I might have said 18 for the front tires. Certainly 19 in the rear. And oh yeah, we had the upside down one. So I hope I didn't say 18 because they're 19s all around on the original 5 double spoke Porsche wheels. So staggered setup. And then working our way around, you can see a portion of the roof here. I'm not gonna operate the roof in this video, but you can see it both going up and down, the power top in operation on our detailed listing. Again, lot 256, CollectorCarCanada.CA. Working our way around, here's some venting for some intake to the engine. And right there is our middle brake light, or center high mount stop light, CHMSL. And a good look at the 997.2 specific tail lights. And there's that exit for the dual exhaust. You can see the actual pipe is in there, and that aluminum look exit is probably more for show than go, because we can see the pipe, the actual pipe inside the exit on the aluminum, the rounded rectangle aluminums. Not going to make an effort to show you the underside. As I said earlier, we've got oodles of underside photos and videos on the detailed listing. So here's a good look at the 295 on the rear. Again, with the cross-drilled rotors underneath, Porsche branded calipers, and the colored Porsche crest for a center cap. Yeah, as I say, I didn't find any flaws on the rear, or sorry, the passenger side. Let's take a close look at the mirror, because I did find one on the driver's side, but on this side I don't. Fuel door, nice and clean inside. I guess we've got 91 octane. Oh, it's rated for 93, so 93 octane into the Porsche. And there's the 235 on the passenger front with the 5 double spoke Porsche rim with colored center caps. You can notice the PPF in place here on this side as well. Pretty subtle from 10 feet, but if you get close, you can notice it. And the oval headlight up front. And this is a headlight washer, as you might have guessed. And now we get a chance to look at this front bumper, and it is really clean. I am used to seeing some chips or some bug marks, but I don't see any on this bumper cover. Oh, that was a lousy camera work by me, sorry about that. But there's a good look at it. I do see a slight imperfection here on the front trunk cover. I'll pull out my handy dandy toonie so that you can get a sense of perspective. But I see that guy right there, so pretty small, but it's there. And then a tiny little one there as well. There are a number of items in the trunk, including the Porsche branded car cover that comes with the car. So I'm not going to open up the front trunk now. There are lots of photos of it on our detailed listing, as you might guess. Lot 256. And I say we climb in it, and maybe I don't need to climb in it, but I can give you a quick tour of the inside. Maybe I'll pull that key to avoid the beeping. The car does come with 2 keys, so multifunction keys with keyless remote for the front trunk as well, as you might be able to see from that video. That middle button operates the front trunk. And I'm gonna put that in my normal spot for it here by the front wheel. Don't want to ever lock the keys in someone else's car. So original branded Porsche floor mats to match the red carpets, red leather, perforated leather, as I say, sports seats, with the gray hard backs to match, I suppose I should say silver, to match the exterior of the car. Take a look at our detailed listing, again, lot 256, where we're very specific about colors and options as well, of course. So there's a look at the odometer at 44,284, definitely going to its new owner below 45,000 kilometers. A center mounted tack, common to 911s, and then a few more gauges here to the right. Coolant temperature, this is a water pumper, not an air cooled number. Of course, Porsche moved to water cooled for the 911s in 1998. And oil pressure measured in bars on the far left. And there's oil temperature as well on the far left. That little dial is to reset the trip. And there's another one here to set the clock. Oh my gosh, it's past high noon. I told the guys I'd be back by noon. I'm having too much fun with this Porsche. I am late. And typical stock here. This one is for the onboard computer, and I've played around with that a little bit with the photos, and it's also how you control the toggle between kilometers here and miles. So you'll see that the analog portion of the speedometer is miles per hour, max reading of 200. But when you use that toggle, you can go back and forth on this digital display between kilometers an hour and miles per hour. And then another stock here for cruise control management. I'm not going to show you the stereo all lit up right now, but there are photos of it on the detailed listing. Again, lot 256, CollectorCarCanada.CA, and climate control system right here. There's a good look at the 6-speed shifter, aluminum top with leather grip and skirt, or maybe I'll call it a boot. Yeah, and this car's full leather. You can see this dash, you can see the stitching. A really nice appointment on these Porsches. To have full leather here, not a plastic that will not wear as nicely as the leather. Little storage compartment here on the door, on the armrest on the door. Speakers here on the doors, same on the other side. Again, the leather wrapped on the handle of the handbrake. This is the control for the top. As I say, you can see the top going up and down in our detailed listing. Ashtray here, super clean. I even checked the lighter. It's a little bit stuck in there, but there's a good look at it. No evidence of any smoking in this car, but good to know that that lighter is there as a 12-volt outlet. And a matching door card here for the passenger. You can see that airbag emblem and the various vents on the front. There are 2 small seats in the rear, but only the 2. The center is all about drivetrain. Probably okay for small children or adults for a short trip in a pinch, but I was interested to see the color combination that was spec'd for this car. You got the hard silver on the rear of the seats, the red leather, and then more contrast with the gray seat belts to match the exterior of the car. And we've got some data here, all taken up close on the detailed listing. Door sills got the aluminum look. Carrera emblem, and even the hinges look spotlessly clean. Again, this is before the car is detailed, so I'm impressed. So I'll do one last walk around here, and we'll move to some closing thoughts. I catch myself walking a bit quickly, but I think I've given you a pretty good tour of what this 09 Carrera 2 Cabriolet is all about. And another thing, it does come with the wind deflector you see here included. So there's a good look at our 2009 Porsche 911 997.2 series Carrera 2 Cabriolet, 6-speed manual with under 45,000 kilometers. There's a whole mess of photos and information and documentation, other videos as well on our detailed listing for the car. It's lot 256 on CollectorCarCanada.CA. Silver on red for this 997.2 Carrera 2 Cabriolet. And I think that'll about do it. I'll thank you for watching, and on to the next car.